Here was today's project. A couple weeks ago, during a power outage, we had a substation fail. This capacitor right here leaked on me, so I need to replace it now. And I'm currently looking for another. It's a 0.75 microfarad by 120 volt AC capacitor. So that little guy there is proving to be a challenge to find. And I rebuilt the fuel pump. I still have this one to rebuild. I have had this one all apart to take pictures of it for the company so that way they can make me a kit. See, it's just a mechanically operated dude. But I've even wire wheeled the bail here. I mean, it's all nice and shiny again. Took a Dremel little wire wheel and just went crazy on it. Came out nice. Now, you see how shiny that new filter is there in the top. It's that silver thing inside the glass. What it is this. Here's the old one actually. See, this one's just stamped steel with a brass screen. That one there is actually machined aluminum with a brass screen, so it's actually much better than the original. It really is, which is kind of cool. Here's all the old parts. Actually, believe it or not, this one had been rebuilt in its past and was in working condition. I just didn't have the parts in the engine at the time to try it. But I rebuilt it anyways. See, here's the old diaphragm. Kit came with replacement springs. Here's one of the valves right here. They're made out of stamped steel. Where's one? And here's one here in the edge. Yes, they're made out of stamped steel. There's a little spring in there and a disc. What else? All the pins. Came with all new pins, all new hardware. Well, except for the screws. And, well, here's the new kit right here. For the other fuel pump there, see, there's the valves. They're different. See, instead of being stamped steel, they're now machined aluminum. Look at that. Very high quality kit. See all the gaskets that are in there. Here's the diaphragm. This diaphragm was actually in this kit, but a little factory defect there. The holes that they pre-drilled, they were offset just a little tiny bit. You can kind of see it, and they won't line up with the screw holes here, so not a big deal. I just didn't want to do it with this one. I'll just end up lining them up and taking a drill and re-drilling them, that's all. Not a big deal. I mean, they're custom made kits, so there is going to be little defects here and there, but they're not made in China. Now, for anyone that has a Briggs BP with a fuel pump like this, actually, here, let me get you the model number for the fuel pump. If your fuel pump is a 3637 AC fuel pump, you'll want to go to Now and Then Automotive. Well, actually, there's the address right there. Then Now. It's Now and Then Automotive is their company name. And there's their part number right there. ACR111. There you go. That's for anyone who wants to rebuild one of these. Awesome, awesome kit. Very high quality parts. This hole right here, the pin that came with it, or actually the hole was drilled slightly undersized, so I ended up taking my drill and enlarging the hole a little bit. But other than that, it went very smoothly, very nice kit, very high quality parts, so I'm very happy with it. So it works. I put that fuel tank there below the carburetor, and it does suck fuel up. It doesn't leak a drop out of here. In fact, you can still see there is a little bit of fuel left in there. It just hasn't gone back down the hole. It comes up through here, through this little tube, into this chamber. Then it has to go up, down this brass screen, down into the pump diaphragm, which is down in here. The valves are down in here, and then just goes out the other side. Up through the fuel line, which is right here, And then it comes over here to the carburetor. This is my next problem. See, before it wasn't a problem. Now the carburetor's leaking gas all over the place. So my float isn't floating like it should be. So I gotta get a new float for it. I'd like to get a new old stock carburetor because there is some damage to the end right here where this cast iron piece bolts on. There's actually a set screw that comes up from the bottom, and somewhere in its past somebody didn't line up and they crushed the throat of the carburetor a little bit, and it's pot metal, so it's just kind of cracked. So I'd like to replace that. So I'm going to get a rebuild kit for it so it doesn't leak anymore, and a new float for the time being, but a new old stock carburetor costs like $130. This is a really nice generator, so it might be worth justifying that. We'll see. I'll have to do some serious thinking to see if I really want to do that, or if I can find one for a little bit less money. That'd be awesome. But I started it with a hand crank because I didn't want to run power through with the bad capacitor. And it was spewing gas all over the place out of those gaskets there in the carburetor. And it was just chugging black smoke because it was flooding itself out. It wouldn't get up to speed. See, if I gravity feed gas to the carburetor, not a problem. But it's a low pressure fuel pump for float carburetors, and it's just too much for it right now in the condition that carburetor's in, so gotta fix it. And tomorrow I'm heading out to get another vintage generator. Not as old and not as cool as this one, but it's pretty cool.